So, we're wondering why we're recording Dark Souls of all things, right? This is New England Plus, and wanted to give my few words on how I feel about Elden Ring of all things, because in the last few months I've been trying it in and out because a friend of mine had told me, oh, since you play a lot of Dark Souls too, you may like Elden Ring. And for playing Elden Ring, I started playing Dark Souls 1 instead. It's quite fun, but again, Elden Ring is supposed to be this big game that is supposed to appeal to pretty much everybody. Yes, I'm slightly sick, but happens. As I was saying, the game is quite finicky in all ways possible. It's not a bad game, mind you, but it's not good by any stretch of the imagination. Because, first and foremost, it relies too much on delayed attacks, so you don't know what the boss is going to do. For example, every single boss here, both in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2, has a few delays, like throughout the entire game, but they're fair, easy to tell. For example, the Iron Golem has a grab hitbox, and that has a little bit of a delay, but in that case it's slightly more fine because, again, it's the Iron Golem and it's on a grab. So it feels more fair in that sense, because having it on something like a grab feels more fair to me than having it on every single attack, because unless you train yourself to do these things, so you have to literally memorize everything, or you're not going to get past it and it's going to be horrible. It's not a gameplay experience I personally like. It's a really dumb experience. But, it's such a dumb way of doing things. Why would you play a game that doesn't reward you, finding opportunities, because there aren't opportunities. You're not playing against the boss, you're against the boss that's on your equal level. You're just playing against the boss itself, because whenever it gives you an opportunity to attack, and it's probably one single R1 or an R4, which are completely OP, but yeah, it's quite dumb. That's a thing, really, you go for that. And don't any gimmicky fights. I mean, Renala is a gimmick fight, but it doesn't really count to be honest. It doesn't really count a gimmick fight anymore, because at the end of the day, you're not fighting the most specifically for that first phase. You're just running around and smacking down people. I wanted to try this Pyromancer I got from the DLC, so it's interesting. We got a normal flame. I used magic before, but I said, it looks cool, why not? It's probably going to be decent, at least half decent. Okay, now, that's not too bad against a gaping fucking dragon. Well, that's Dark Souls for you. We also get stupid fucking grab hitboxes. Am I dead? Oh, no I'm not. Cool. As I was saying, in general, every boss has a lot of delays, unless you specifically learn it from every single boss. I mean, that's how Elden Ring does difficulty, by spamming you with a lot of bosses that you either learn or you learn, because you cannot win the fight without either learning or becoming a tank god. Like, for example, Consoradan or Malenia, or even someone more easy in the mid game. You have how's it called? It's a particularly notorious fight. Margit is also a piece of shit in many ways, more than one. Okay, game. Please. I look like shit. Yeah, you don't get these things. Elden Ring. That's sad. For example, imagine if there was something like Cheeseless Discharge. I think FromSoft doesn't have the balls to do that anymore. Get out of the way of dragons. That's how you have to do it. But yeah, I think From doesn't have the balls anymore to do stuff like that. I feel like they're starved in a bit, and going for the open world formula has been a huge success, so they'll keep doing it. But in my opinion, it doesn't really work with the Souls combat. So, oh yeah, I hope one day this thing can change, but I'm sure it's not gonna be now. And especially with the fact that people are enjoying it. I mean, imagine if Elden Ring was made by, I don't know, From Software's B team, then everyone would want to be shit about it, but because people suck Miyazaki's cock too much. For example, I see people defend Tomb of the fucking Giants. How do they defend that? It's such an outrageously bad place. It doesn't make sense. Also, yeah, I have a mod that lets me warp. It's quite nice. In the case also, I can dump all that into Faith. It's 2 levels. Let's go. Friend link we go. That's not the point. We don't have to go to Firelink to talk about this shit, but I'll be at it. Why not? So again, another thing that fucks with my brain so much is why they have made a world so big, right? It's very fucking big, but it always feels so bloody hollow. Oh, that's a parry. I didn't even press the button. I pressed the button to shield. Thank you, game. Get input lag can work on your favor. Yeah. Let yourself be buried. Cool. Oh, do you resist? No, you don't. Cool. Let's go down to Valley of the Drakes and to Quelaag, I think. So yeah, this looks super cool. I love this style of architecture. If all of you know, these Roman-esque stuff. You have it in Elden Ring with dungeons, like the very big legacy dungeons, but so it's something that I really do miss. Like old school architecture from the medieval times. Like it's really cool. I love new stuff like New Londo. Even looks great. Like really, New Londo. Just look at that. Look at this place. You cannot tell me it doesn't look cool. It's such an amazing place. It sucks to navigate, but it's fun nonetheless. And Ghosts aren't that bad, to be honest. The Tomb of the Giants is the only very bad place in the game, but again, I've seen people defend it, and probably I'll get used to it probably for New Game Plus, because I got through it with a friend of mine. Not a friend, but a summon. So I'm gonna do it alone this time. It's gonna be an interesting experience, to be honest. Speaking of interesting experience, this. And another thing I do not understand of how they made Elden Ring is why don't bows have scaling at all? Like, never. You cannot make a bow build to save yourself. It's quite nice having bows in a Souls sense, because you get to aggro enemies from pretty hefty distance, and having them aggroed, you can just fight them 1-on-1 if you need to, and then you can parry them. Oh god, I love parrying Dark Souls 1. It's broken as fuck and it's probably too good, but you know what? It's better to have it too good than too bad. They gave him 5-frame window on medium shields in Elden Ring. This is very, very generous. Not that generous, but I get what I mean. Come on. Not a bonk attack, please. Well, that's good. That's good with me. Cool. If we get more crap, I'm gonna be mad. Anyway, we go back down to Blighttown. I've got my shield of choice to use. I've got the Black Knight shield as a drop from the first frame. So it'll be interesting fight. I still believe that the thing is that they made hard bosses in DS3, and they saw people saying, "Oh, cool! These bosses are really, really good." Like I don't know, Slave Knight Gil and stuff. And they said, "No, you know what? Since these bosses are so cool, we could just implement them the same way into our new next game." And that took like 5 years to finish, and it came out and it was super duper rush. I mean, it's in more ways than one was done DS2 in terms of being completely and utterly rushed. It's a very rushed. It was a very rushed game when it first came out, and I think that's completely insane. Like, already it took like quite a considerable amount of time from Dark Souls 3. I have Toxic. I have Bloom Performance. Thank you, game. Let's go around, and there should be 3 more of these bastards. Hopefully we get to skip the worst part of Blighttown, which is Upper Blighttown. Also, a controversial opinion, armor's sets really looks like shit in in Elden Ring. I haven't seen an armor that looks like armor. It looks cool. It just stands so bad in general. It's both because of the atrocious lighting, which I don't think can defend a lighting system that bad. Okay, cool. Alright, I will say it. The lighting system is quite bad. You go from complete light to complete dark. It's like if they made Tomb of the Giants a real place, because if you have your brightness not a max, you can't see shit when you go down into places like decays or the mines. But if you go outside, then it's the complete opposite. You can see everything, and everything looks super washed out in a way. So it's quite ridiculous. So cool again. SS plus 6, I think. Yeah. Yeah, SS 6. I could just bomb it for the lols. It's a Firekeeper Soul. Yes. Firekeeper Soul. It's humanity also. I've seen a very funny video by a creator called Doomwolf that explains how this game could be received by first-time players. Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's a shit boss, but it's quite kind of funny because it actually represents reality for a lot of people. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. But what was I on about? Oh yeah, the game being complete and all dog shit. For many reasons. Again, I cannot say it's completely undeserved considering everything that's been going on. I think I'll play this game more than DS2 probably. If I don't go back to DS2 in like a month or so, I'm probably gonna be here. I completely dropped Minecraft now, and I'm a Dark Souls fanboy. That's something you don't hear every day. Because I think freedom of choice is a thing you hear a lot in video games, and I think there is a point where you can have too much freedom of choice, and in many ways it ends up ruining your experience in ways that simply having less freedom and being more guided could fix. Like, I don't know, the levels in Dark Souls 1, right? You have a pretty clear set of levels you have to go through, and the order is quite intuitive. If you don't have the Master Key, but even if you do, there's a lot of choice of what you can do first and what you can do next. It's not like you're completely locked into something, but then again, you're still locked into something for the most part. Vagra giant from all the way up there. Not nice. Should be a teacher of pyromancy here. I cannot remember where she is. Oh, Melbourne. Mildred! How hard are you? Don't use that attack. That attack sucks. Alright, it took like 4 hits. And she's dead. I get the 3 Estes. Oh. Also, let's be honest. The fact that they didn't call it an Estes flask in Elden Ring, I cannot get behind it, but it's a little bit ridiculous. It is an Estes after all. It works the same way it worked in DS3 and DS2. Now it's even more annoying because it heals shit. It just doesn't heal at all, for the most part. You just get that flask, but it doesn't heal. I've never got to a point where I was comfortable healing and it would restore. Was sure it would restore a decent chunk of health, because it just wasn't ever restoring the health I wanted. It was more there than anything. So yeah, it never worked as intended. But no, that's part of the experience, I guess. Oh, free humanity, I forgot. I cannot find the girl who tells the pyromancy. I guess. Butcher's knife? Butcher's knife! Oh, gosh. Oh, yeesh. I think for some reason my humanity are split between these ones and another set. Oh, cool. There we go. I've arrived. Well, again, these seem like superficial points, but this is all I think, and also the fact that the world doesn't feel grounded at all is a thing, because the world just doesn't feel grounded enough. You see, in Dark Souls, even Dark Souls 2 and 3, you have this world. Well, it's still high fantasy. It does feel like it's put into reality in many ways. I'm gonna return here for the bonfire later. Then activate the good bonfire. Oh well. I'm sure we can defeat Queen again in one attempt. But yeah, that's all I want to say. The game is bad. Elden Ring is bad because you really don't have autonomy on how you play it. It's like, alright, in Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, you can dictate the tempo of the battle as long as you know what attacks are going to happen. And all attacks have a lot of tells compared to Elden Ring, where some attacks can have minimal tell. Because the difference may be very tiny. I'm gonna put them on my Black Knight shield. I really think that was a bad idea by the whoever decided to develop the game. They did a poor job, at least in that sense. Also, Quillag is easier in New Game Plus, even though she has a ball of hell. I don't know what they smoked. the shield. Alright. Yeah, you feel like you can dictate the tempo of the battle. It's not like you have to hang by it and fight from a distance. You know, this one has notoriously stupid hitboxes. That's gonna pop with humanity. So humanity is a very interesting mechanic. You get a little limited heals basically, because there are a lot of humanities. As long as you don't spam them, you get a lot of humanities to use during fights. Whenever really run low, and I've used the Chaos Blade in previous cycle. This is simply a Yuchi. I'm just gonna shoot him. 1 error. Cool. Yeah, you get the point. This, by both fights, I think you can understand the point I'm trying to make, that Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring cannot be compared. And this goes from Elden Ring and the entire Souls series, because Elden Ring relies on spectacle and how's it called? Delayed attacks more than anything. So you get a spectacle of this land and the archery and everything, and that thing, and the other, which is delayed attacks. You can find it from the first bosses to the enemies. Everything else delayed attacks. So you have to basically learn the entire game every single time you want to go through. Yeah, I want to pass these. Thank you. I hate this place. I really do. Your worst and the polite fucking down. I hate these things. Alright, cool. Reinforce S's. Let's talk to you. What do you have to say? I never found the Witch's Ring. I don't know where it is. It's a bit of weird. Yeah, anyway. I think that said everything. Whenever I'll do I'll finish something, there's a lot I have to finish. Specifically regarding like my Dark Souls 2 series, wanted to start some time ago. I hope to finish it. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it, but I hope to. Alright, with that said, I do think that's everything for today, and have a good day.